everyone, Joe here from Action X. Welcome to Let Joe Talk, or welcome back. This is Valentine's Day. It's February already. Yikes. This year's going by really fast. So, have I ever talked about love on this show? I don't think I have. But anyway, I got a lot to tell. So, this week's topic, I'm just going to be talking about how love is a very difficult thing for some. I mean, then, well, obviously it's Valentine's Day, so I'm talking about romantic love speaking. And here's the thing: I'm not gonna beat around the bush. At the time of this recording, I am still single. I have been single for 23 years. But at least at this current juncture in my life, I'm fine with it, because the thing is that with love, it's a very one of my best friends in the world, Luke. He's from our early days of the channel. He told me one time during a phone call. He said along the lines that it's gonna think that certain area is gonna happen when you least expect it, and when you it'll happen when it happens. And for the longest time, I've never fully gotten that or accepted that, because I'm still a very impatient person at times, and I learned a lot in the past couple years about myself, and trying to change for the betterment of myself. I remember multiple times in my past, during when I was in middle school and high school, where I was changing, sometimes not for the best, for a girl that would inevitably reject me or not have any interest in me, and so I would lose the time and I would feel bad about myself. And then it wasn't until a couple years ago where I started to realize I've always been presenting myself to people, to especially females, in the romantic sense, when in reality I never took a very good look into myself. I've talked to people in the past year during the pandemic about this topic, about the whole, because the thing about me is that the thing that this is okay. I don't know. This is not meant to be a joke, but when I started losing weight, because if you have been watching me for years now, you can see the dramatic loss in my appearance since 2019. So 2018 to 2019, my appearance has been gradually changing to where I am now, where I'm happy now. I'm very happy. I'm satisfied where I am. I'm still improving on myself. And what was hilarious was that I was seeing people's of different, waistline, weight-wise, height-wise, ethnicity-wise. I've been seeing everyone just starting to pair up, and I was starting to get a little bit frustrated, because honestly, it is frustrating to be witnessing that, because you're not seeing the whole well, obviously, of course, you don't know the dynamics of the relationship, and I understand most of the time it is very much of a what's on the inside type approach. How do the two partners compatible? I understand that. I get that. It was just, in my experience at the time period, I was just very flabbergasted, since I'm in this weird in between section of, I am not where I was before, I'm not where I want to be at then, and I was still flabbergasted by the time I was seeing all that. Any chances I had, there was always some sort of obstacle in the way. And to be fair, these obstacles are very much of a personal. And here's the thing. I'm very much, if anyone's watched me on What's in the Tube, I'm very much of a Ted Mosby in terms of the romantic. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love romance. I have a soft spot for a good romance story. I got a soft spot for it. I can safely admit that. But the thing that I've always been a little bit self-doubting myself is myself, because whenever I would be interested in someone, I would always I get jealous easily. That's the thing you should know about me. And I would start rushing scenarios in my head, and I would start trying to rush my progress with someone I would be interested in, and it would most of the time end up blowing up in my face. And so, and that's one of the key things about today, is about this week's topic, is that you don't have to rush it. You don't. Things take their time. Things have their correct pace. Sometimes it takes years to get to the point with someone when you both realize this is something you both want to pursue romantically. And sometimes it can take a couple weeks, a couple days, a couple months. It all varies. I've had now experiences throughout the last year where I everything every connection you have with someone is different, and it is very hard to differentiate when it's time as well as whether both parties are ready for it. Because no matter what, is that sometimes, and this is another thing I had to learn growing up, is that first of all, let me be frank. If you're getting said no often, there's a reason for that no. At least for me, the two main reasons I always think I always got no's, and I'm comfortable admitting this because I'm growing up. I'm still growing up. I'm not fully developed yet. The two things that I knew that I never found myself to be a viable candidate for anyone that I was romantically interested in was my appearance, because regardless of my weight, which was growing up a very it's a very talked about subject when you're talking about in the middle school high school area, when you're talking about relationships, you want to date someone that's good looking, because that's everyone's interpretation, because you want to date someone good, or someone that you think is good looking. But generally speaking, if you're on the outside perspective, you see good looking people pairing up, and then you realize, well, where's the person that's going to find me good looking? Sometimes they're not even in your school. Sometimes they're not even in your state. Sometimes they're, in very rare instances, they're not even in your country. That's how very much things are not going to properly line up on those things. And so when I was viewing that, my appearance was very sloppy. I never gave a damn about my outfits, my hairstyle, sometimes my hygiene. It was very rare I didn't give a damn about my hygiene, but now I'm perfectly satisfied with that. But the point of the matter is that was one of the reasons I thought that I was not getting any attention in that field, as well as the fact is my personality. My personality is very much it's a very unique personality, I will say that. Even right now, I can very safely admit, not everyone's going to be my friend. Not everyone's going to find me interesting or likable, or even in the field of romantically interested. I'm a very specific person, and and I think at the end of the day, and this is going to apply to the end of the message here, the person that you're meant to be with is going to compliment you and accept you. If you're dating someone who isn't complimenting you in terms of I found very in the past couple of years, I've met people of the opposite gender, or just me as a male to a female. Let me be specific there. We've had stuff in common. We vibe well each other, so there's the complimentary part there. But the other portion is that they have to be romantically interested in you. Because you can vibe off a lot of people, but not everyone's going to be thinking about you in a romantic sense. And then sometimes they do, but then the other time periods that, are you ready for it? Because I feel like in my head, this is the much more recent lesson I learned, was that you might be ready for that commitment, but the other person isn't. You can imagine all you want about how much you two would be great together because you vibe well together, you hang out well together, you talk to each other greatly, whether that is in person or in text. That is all very much true, but the important thing you have to realize is that, are they ready to have that commitment? Since it is not easy to be in a relationship. Even though I've never been in one properly, I've seen my friends, some people very close to me, in relationships, and it can sometimes take a burden on them because sometimes they don't want to deal with being in a relationship, but they already are, and they don't want to hurt their partner, so they override what they need to, focus on what their partner needs, and then sometimes they end up not focusing on their. I understand, it's a partnership, both sides will help each other, but maybe sometimes the other partner just doesn't realize the other partner needs help because they're already dealing with their own problems. And again, I understand that every relationship is different. Every couple is very different in their circumstances. Some people will go into a relationship regardless of what they're dealing with because they don't want to say no to them, and then okay, we'll make it work somehow, and they end up hurting themselves or the other one in the long run. And that's a very genuine reason. It took me a while before I realized, okay, yeah, because if they say that's they're just saying no because they don't want to be with me. But then I realized, well, no, maybe they are not ready for a relationship. Maybe they're not ready for that commitment. Because, again, you have to sacrifice, no matter what, you have to put the work. It's the same with a friendship, a best friendship, a work partnership, anything like that. You have to put time and effort into it. You can't just have the title and just expect, oh, whenever we're free, we're gonna be a couple. No, it has to be a very stable communicative process. You have to make time for them, whether that is going on dates or just having a simple, casual hangout between the two of you. You have to make time for that. It's not all fun and games always. There's more to a relationship. And again, I know I'm speaking like I'm an expert here. I'm not an expert. I'm just basing this off what I've learned from either experiences around me, what I've heard. I'm the amalgamation of like I know what I would do, and I'm not even at that point yet. And I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with it because I've dealt with so much for my life, and I've dealt with a lot. And I dealt with tears. I've sweated a lot for people. I've been through a variety of emotions on a lot of people that I've been interested in, and I think no matter what the case, it's still a growing experience because you learn like this is the truth, or you have to prevent this next time, or you learn as you go. And I feel like for me, I've always not taken that to heart until much recently, where right now I'm not even. I mean, I'm in a very weird place with where I am in the terms of like I'm still single. I'm still a single man, and I'm kind of in this weird place. It's like it's a waiting game at this point. But while I'm waiting, why not improve myself even more? Because I feel like I've dedicated so much of my life to finding a partner that I've realized I stress so much about finding a partner that I put aside a lot of other things. Because the last time I was generally not interested in anyone. Like there was a time period where I would focus on anything but trying to find a romantic partner. And I'm being completely honest here. The last time that happened to me was between 2012 to 2013. That was the last time I've not focused. Something's always happened. Like I meet someone and I'm generally curious on them, and then that doesn't work out, and most of the time it doesn't. I move forward, and then at some later point, not too long later, there's someone else pops in my life, and I want to try and get something going with them in terms of a romantic relationship, and then the process resumes. I haven't had a break in that because I know where I am now. I know, as for me personally, I find myself as a kid. If that sounds so bachelor terms enough, or presidential enough, whatever you want to say. I know I'm at that point where I am sort of ready, but I can be better. I can be a better partner for someone, and that starts with, focusing on myself. I want to work out more. I want to improve my body. I want to get stronger. I also want to improve my work life. I want to be able to go on and potentially improve it, whether that is finding a new job or improving my current conditions in my current job. There's a lot of factors that I want to improve in my life. I want to make more better quality YouTube videos for YouTube. I want to continue being a great friend, a great best friend to a lot of my friends. I want to do all that, and that takes time. It's not a sudden change. It just is a slow improvement over time. And who knows? Maybe that right person will come along, because I've dealt with so much in my life at this point that, like, at least by this point, I gotta be leading up to something. I have to. It's inevitable that I will meet the one. I know I'm speaking very fairy tale here, but it's the truth. I mean, whether you find that one very early on in your life or a little bit later on, it's gonna come when it comes, and when you know it, you know it. And for me, I had moments when I thought I met the one, or not the one. I meet someone that's like very similar to me, or we vibe well together, but then there's just something prohibiting it. I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad at that. But I get close to it and then it's taken away from me. I'm not mad at that. I'm not. I love the experience that I had. Getting to that point. At least getting to know someone and then trying to figure out where the connection's at. I still love that experience. I love that journey. It's all part of the larger journey that I'm going through, as well as their own personal journeys. Whether that is in a negative fashion and a positive fashion. Hopefully mostly positive, but I can never control that. Because at the end of the day, love is something, it's not based on a science. It's not based on anything on the internet. Love happens when it happens. And I'm finally at that point in my life where I am accepting of that. I will wait for that partner. I will wait to find that one. And they're out there somewhere. It's not impossible to find them. It is very hard sometimes. It very much is. But something I take from How I Met Your Mother said, you respect the journey when it's completed. When you find that person and then you look back on your previous experiences and everything you've been through to get to that, you're so thankful for that journey because it made you who you are, so that when you get to that person finally who's going to compliment you, who's going to be there for you, who's going to romantically be the one for you, you're going to be so grateful for the journey. And I can't wait to have that moment. I don't know when. I don't know where. I don't know. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Because there's no timetable for this. There isn't. It'll happen when it happens. And yeah, it sucks to go for another Valentine's Day single and still during a pandemic. But it's something we're all struggling to deal with. And then hopefully when the time comes when you will get to spend a Valentine's Day with someone, you'll be even more happier as a result. But also, again, remember, Valentine's Day is a day of love. It doesn't have to always mean romantically love. I love my best friends. I love my family. I love my cat. I love my life. So love is something that's, obviously, of course, I know it means Valentine's Day is supposed to be a romantic day, but it's a day of love. And love is a very general topic. It's a very general subject. So I guess you have the loophole there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. I sound kind of stupid sometimes. But when it comes to this field, I'm very hopelessly into it. Hopefully someday when I meet my partner, she'll also be it. But who knows? Who knows where life will go? Who knows? And that's the lesson that you should learn today, is that love is like life. You don't know what's going to happen in it, but when you have those moments, you will be grateful for them. So I think that's going to do it for me. So I hope that at least brightened up someone's day on this Valentine's Day season as I work in my place of business and just witness it all around me. Because that's the nature of my of me. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, everyone. So thank you so much for watching another episode or watching for the first time of Legio Talk. If you want to see more Legio Talk, we post a brand new episode every Wednesday here on Action X. So please make sure to like the video, share the video, favorite the video, support it however you want. It does help us out in the long run. So thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Ring the bell for notification when our next episode is live, usually every Wednesday. Follow us on social media. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. So again, I hope you enjoy your Valentine's Day season, whether that is with your loved ones or your partner or whatever the source. Keep spreading love. Love always. Thank you. Peace out.